Welcome, Operative. If you're hearing these words, and you have the proper security clearance to understand them, you've obviously been accepted as an enlightened agent within the Technocratic Union. Congratulations! If you don't yet have the property security clearance, don't worry. Remain exactly where you are. Operatives are being dispatched to your location to help you transition into the next stage of your existence. Before we release you back into the front lines to save the world, your local HR department has a few guidelines for your careful consideration, so we can ensure you don't stray from the straight and narrow path. As the author of the Orange HR Handbook for Detroit Central, I've been asked to summarize our HR procedures. You may feel some slight anxiety about notating this information, but you can relax. You won't be tested at the end of it. No, you'll go about your business for a month or two. And then you'll have random quizzes as part of our internal loyalty review program. If you've got nothing to hide, you've nothing to fear. Whether you're destined to hunt reality deviants or work behind the scenes, remember that your friends in HR have your back. Maid of Kimchi, please report to room 101. Your next available convenient break. Standard authorized break period. Welcome to Vorpal Tales, where we play terrifying tales and awesome adventures every day of the week. For you Mage fans, we have Mage all weekend. This show on Saturdays and White Walls. Our Mage 20th horror game on Sundays. On Tuesdays, we're playing Trinity Continuum Adventures. And on Friday, Scarred Lands Dracogenesis. Be sure to check out our website, vorpaltales.com, to see our complete calendar. See all of our games, including the non-Onyx Path ones. See recaps of shows and get the links to our past archive. Also, you can find us on podcasts now with our talk shows talking about the shows we do and related topics, all the deep dives. You'll find our links to all of that and our social media and our Patreon on the website, vorpaltales.com. Be sure to click follow on Twitch so you can get notified of shows. And if you go to YouTube, subscribe and hit the bell. All new and current Twitch followers will be entered into a drawing for some free PDFs of any of our past games once we hit the next double aught on Twitch. We recently passed the last one, and we gave away 3 cool books to 3 cool people. Special thanks to Onyx Path Publishing and White Wolf for gifting us the World of Darkness and all the support they offer. Thanks to Astral Tabletop for the awesome virtual space we use to play all our games. To Nate for our custom Astral Tabletop character sheets that you too can use to play Mage the Ascension on Astral. Enlightened Agents, tell us who you are and who you're playing in this story.
Good evening. I am Dwayne, at Maid of Kimchi on the internet, and tonight I will be playing Saplina, the autocrat architect.
Hello, I was once known as Kisama. Now I am Agent Yamamoto Satori, and I will be the progenitor of this group and a member of the Yakuza.
Hello, I'm JT, and tonight I will be playing John Nedry, a sort of hacker type, because of course. You can find me around the internet as @Zensomancer.
I am Zachary Naldra. I will be playing Jacob Hardigan. Both are he, him. I am on the internet as Zach Rules.
Oh, that's me. I'm sorry. We're missing some people, so I got my timing off. I am the _touring all over the internet, and I am playing Agent 762, an Iteration X cyborg.
Excellent. Zach, if you would, please give your brief recap of character creation.
PsyOps report. Location, Detroit Construct. Date, April 3rd, 2032. The following report is restricted to T5 operatives. T4 operatives directly involved with the operation and supervision of the operatives involved and the construct may have limited access as long as they maintain supervisory roles or until such time as the experiment has been successfully replicated in other constructs. The operatives listed in this report were witness to the incident and voluntarily submitted to the procedure. The details of the incident are in AAR number 203-20403. Note that not all operatives have survived or have been cleared from the mind wipe. A separate report will be followed for them, including opportunities for improvement for future use of the procedure. None of the operatives have a memory of the RDI, with any lingering side effects determined to fall within the standards deemed to be acceptable. After surviving the redacted incursion to construct redacted, secure facilities resulting in redacted. Filth exposure, all operatives underwent voluntary mind wipes. Agent Armature 762. Convention Iteration X. Known Enlightened Sciences. Data, Force, Matter, and Primal Utility. Agent involuntarily mind wiped after successful implementation of conscious into reality deviant body redacted, captured during the technocratic incursion of reality deviant facility redacted. Agent is completely unaware he is not occupying his original body and has fully acclimated. Original consensus is housed at redacted secure facility. The experiment is marked a success. Use of data enlightenment science adjustments and procedures have shown to have a disruptive effect on mundane communication devices and is worth being monitored. Currently, this is considered a TDS4. If this increases, he may need to be pulled from the field until the issue becomes controllable. Agent Nerdy Jonathan, Convention Virtual Adept. Double Agent Nerdy has defected to the Detroit construct after a redacted incident involving redacted assault on deviant chantry known as redacted, under surveillance to ensure loyalty. Agent Denisovna Tisplania, aka Dasha, Convention Syndicate. Operative Dasha is a highly placed asset with connections to redacted in the U.S. Senate, redacted in the Boston Mafia, and redacted in the New York Mafia. He is highly placed in the redacted crime family. He has been successfully on redacted to destabilize redacted, and on redacted to ensure Senate bill redacted would fail. Agent name Yamamoto Satori. Convention Progenitor, also known as East Asian Branch Green Dragon. Operative Yamamoto is a highly placed asset with connections to redacted in the Russian mob, redacted in the Irish mob, and a reality deviant group known as the Honglei. The later connection is being surveilled at this time. He has been used as an effective assassin on occasions redacted, and redacted in the last 6 months, and holds the record for the highest kill count in the Rust Belt region after his successful assassination of redacted. Agent Thea Insorin of the Void Engineers. First Lieutenant Thea, referred commonly to as Doctor, was the key research of the effects of the black oil species 0.01 origin sample, otherwise known as the 0 point pathogen, present at incident redacted during the incursion of redacted on redacted, otherwise known as Manhattan incident. First Lieutenant Soren was involved in Operation Valorum on planet G435, otherwise known as Achilles 2.4. Incident A6457 would otherwise known as the Red Queen incident. Lieutenant's unit was redacted and as a result, redacted casualties were sustained. The lieutenant redacted major injury necessitating replacement of redacted. SciTech decided he would be implanted with redacted beta augmentation. Both agents seem to be connected in some way. Agent name, Hardigan Jacob, Convention New World Order. Known in light and sciences, mind entropy correspondence. Clone number 18 of the Payson batch 042580, otherwise known as Jake's Partigan, is our redacted attempt at successfully cloning a loyal copy of base model Redacted, who underwent catastrophic loyalty failure, resulting in defection to reality deviant chant redacted and redacted unredacted. So far, this clone is the most loyal of the batch, but should genetic flaws cause disloyalty, termination with prejudice is authorized. All of these agents have obtained either Tier 2 or Tier 3 status and have been cleared for duty. Others who have gone through the program have not been successful and have been graded as a Degree 7. Should any of these agents show signs of relapse or signs that the mind wipe has not stuck, please have them referred to Room 01 for reconditioning.
Thank you. JT, what would you like your name to be on the overlay?
John Nedry.
Nedry. Same question for you, Dwayne.
You can just put it as Dasha.
C or S?
Dasha.
SH. Okay.
Mine should be armature.
Okay. Like that. Yeah. Complete. So, before we dive into the story, we must play with augmentations, enhancements, wonders, and beta test equipment. Let's start with enhancements. Key. How many dots do you have in cybernetics?
I have 1 dot in
1 dot.
enhancements.
Okay. Would you like 1 point of built-in armor? Improved healing mechanisms. Increased. Let me look at your character sheet. Hold on. Where are you? Satori. We could also increase your intelligence, the mental implant, your perceptions, or your reaction skills.
Let's get those reaction skills increased.
Reaction skills, okay. Alertness, athletics, or awareness. You choose a dot from any of those and apply it to your sheet.
Go with alertness.
Done. Oops. Armature, not arbiter. Got it. Sorry. Jason, 1 second. Judge Dredd over here. There we go. Okay. Dasha, how many dots and enhancements?
2.
2. You can have 2 points of armor, or 1 point that soaks aggravated, not just lethal. You could have built-in climbing enhancements into your hands and feet. You could have rapid healing enhancements. You could also have an increase to reactions and reflexes, or where is your sheet? I love that first name, by the way. It's pretty awesome. You could increase strength, dexterity, intelligence, technology skill, add 2 points to drive, add 2 points to athletics. Any one of those.
any one of those.
Or a combination of two of those at a lesser value. Correct.
Any one of those 19 options. We're gonna go with the Soak Aggravated.
Soak aggravated it is. 1 dot of permanent armor soak, soaks lethal and aggravated and bashing. Okay. Satori, you chose athletics, correct?
I believe I chose awareness.
Awareness.
Or alertness.
Alertness. Ear augmentations, eye augmentations, or nose. Because remember, this will be visible. Metal nose, metal ears, metal eyes.
Metal eyes.
Metal eyes it is. Dasha, you put it in what now?
The permanent aggravated soak.
Do you want heavy metal in one spot or a light sheen of metal over everything?
Ooh.
They call it true skin, where it looks like skin, but you can see the seams and lines and you can light them up with colors.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we're definitely going with the all over.
Okay. And remember, these can be upgraded during the game, either through roleplay or XP. We'll talk about that later, though. Jacob, how many points in enhancements?
0.
Excellent. Nedry, how many points in enhancements?
I have 2.
Same choices as Dasha for armor, enhancements to climbing, enhanced perception, or for you, we could increase, opening the sheet now, strength, appearance, alertness, athletics by 2, awareness, brawl by 2, drive, firearms, martial arts, or stealth by 2. If I didn't say 2, it means 1 dot.
Let's do 1 in firearms and 1 in martial arts.
Sold. So that means hands. You have cybernetic hands, or your primary hand is it's either the entire primary arm or both hands. You decide.
Fire primary left arm.
Okay. And last but not least, Armature 762.
4.
4. Yeah, here we go. Okay. By the way, I think I got your name right on the 4th try. I forgot the R.
You did get it right that time.
I did get it right the last time. Excellent. Okay. In addition to everything I told them, plus what I'm about to tell you from your sheet, you can have night vision, high-level rapid healing, built-in flight, built-in wolvers. That's where claws pop out of your fingers or wrists. Or the following from the skill sheet. 1 to strength, dex, stamina, perception, or 2 to appearance. 2 to alertness, 3 to athletics, 3 to brawl, 4 to stealth, 4 to drive, 4 to firearms, 4 to martial arts, 4 to melee. Or any combination of those if you want to go lesser dots, but spread it out.
Let's do healing, night vision, and
So healing and night vision would kill all 4.
all right, good enough.
So that means you actually move up 1 category on the natural healing chart, and healing done to you through hypertech is twice as effective. So if like somebody does hypertech healing and they roll 1 health level, you'd get 2, and then natural healing times are doubled for you.
Okay.
Was really hoping you went with the 2 dots in appearance so we could have sexy robot man.
Night sight means you have dark vision, no roll needed. Low light vision, no roll needed. Or dark vision if you successfully roll perception plus alertness, difficulty 8. At least 1 success.
Okay.
So you would have eyes and internal augments, but you'd be able to see them here and there on your body, so you've got like metal bits around where you can interface with the regular world. Okay. Who has points in bioaugmentation that purchased it separately from cybernetics?
That'd be me.
Excellent. Okay. How many dots do you have in bioaugmentation?
4.
Would you like a reinforced skeleton?
Yes, please.
Okay. Other options include biocloaking, built-in net access. That one's pretty cheap. Enhanced hormones, environmental sustainability adjustment, meaning environments that would kill a human wouldn't kill you. That one allows you to survive extreme heat, extreme cold, high or low temperature, and for a short time, vacuum.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. So that one or the...
That one's 3 points,
skeleton?
so you'd have
That was
1
3
point
points.
left, meaning we could do a very low physical structure enhancement. So you could improve like your movement speed, or 1 dot would get you like -1 to the multi-action penalty to dice pools.
Let's do that.
Okay. Done. Right, next is secret weapons. Who's got secret weapons besides the people that aren't here?
I do.
Again, armature. How many points?
Secret weapon, I did just 2 in that.
Okay. 2 points of secret weapons. Let's do... What's your convention again?
Iteration A.
Iteration X. Make it appropriate to you. So that one would have been fun, but not appropriate to your convention. Laser eyes. I'll be right with you. Those would be more appropriate for keys. So what are we going to find you? How weaponized are you as your faction? Are you a scientist or a warrior? Field agent
Yes.
or a lab assistant?
More scientist.
Okay. So we won't look at built-in plasma cannon weapons then.
Actually, that was something that I had considered, even though I have nothing in firearms.
Do it.
You wouldn't use firearms
Yeah,
for
I
that
think
anyways?
Would you use hyperscience?
You would use energy weapons, which you can buy as a secondary skill.
Yeah, I don't have that either.
You don't, but I would allow you to move points around to get it if you want the weapon.
What other options do I have?
That one could be super awesome for this game. Mimetic Mask Kit. I think that'll be the one. Mission Impossible.
Okay, change my face.
Yeah, you can scan
Yeah.
someone, print their face, put it on.
Yep, that worked.
In a portable kit. But because you're the Technocracy and this isn't a Mission Impossible movie, it's actually very portable. It's about the size of a wallet. It folds out to do its job for you.
Yeah, what's that called?
That is called a Mimetic Face Replicator. And you've been loaned Manticore Motor Corporation alpha version of a new street bike that they would like tested out. It's called the Hitachi Katana. It's a souped-up crotch rocket. Don't die.
With 0 in drive?
It's in your name, but you can let anyone in the amalgam use it. You also don't have to. It's just loaned to you for testing. And who has devices?
I do.
So do I. I have
Okay.
1 devices.
1 for Satori and 2 for Jacob?
3.
3. Oh, right. Because you wanted the suit. Yes, you absolutely can have the suit as listed in the Technocracy Reloaded manuscript. Wait, is it in that one or the core book? Wherever they put it, you can have it completely as listed. You also get the VDOS.
I believe it's in both.
Yeah.
Yep.
The black suit, the VDOS. So armor rating of 4 with no dex penalty. Apparatus for your mind effects. The VDOS is built in. Mirror shades actually do connect to the internet from any location if satellite is in range. So if a satellite phone would work, so does your internet. It just might be really slow. And you can jack into advanced computer interfaces by literally plugging it into your head like Johnny Mnemonic.
So I was thinking I had it set up so that it's in the glasses that are connected to the ES phone that he has.
Yeah. That also works.
So yeah, everything goes through the... Yep.
What people can't see is when you actually put the glasses on, the part that goes over your ear actually slides into your head and makes a direct neural connection. You are hyper fast on the internet. And 1 point for Kisama. Yeah, I know there's something in my list for you. Hold on. Something specific. What's your firearms like?
My firearms, I believe it's either 3 or 4.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a 2. Never mind.
Do you prefer to assassinate with martial arts or with weapons? Ranged or personal?
I'll say I'd like to mix it up, but I'm better with martial arts and going in personal.
Okay. You can have I am a complete loss for words because I lost it. Neural interface martial arts form training link. Little tiny chips that you slide into a device that's in your hairline where it's always shaved. You click it in, and if you take however many full turns you want dots in this martial arts skill, you can download martial arts for the remainder of that scene, allowing you to change your maneuvers on demand from the core book. So basically, whatever your martial arts ranks are, you plug in the device, you roll your arete, whatever successes you get, it takes 1, that many rounds to download the new information. 2, you can switch that many maneuvers. And then the maneuvers in the core book, you get 2 per dot of martial arts. So if you have 4 dots, you'd have 8 maneuvers, of which X is variable every time you upload a new chip. Do you have the core book handy?
I do.
Okay. So yeah, you get to keep that section open, you'll be good to go. Okay. So that's augments, upgrades, and devices for everybody. Now for standard operating gear given for missions. We'll get to your mission in a second, but first we're going to go over what the loadout is they're giving you for this particular first mission. Meaning you each get these. You all have LDAS communication devices, which is essentially a phone, but it's still a device. It always gets signal. You can't always reach the construct with it, but you can always reach everyone in your amalgam with it. No naturally occurring phenomenon will cause it to stop working, including pressure, immersion in water, vacuum, fire. However, it of course can also be used to track you.
If you're behaving mutually, then
Who cares?
it shouldn't bother you that they can track you.
All of you who have at least 1 dot in Brawl, Martial Arts, or any kind of command skill has a set of zipper ties, which are an upgrade to zip ties. They're the military form of zip tie, but they also, instead of just actually restraining people, it has a small amount of counter magic to prevent deviants from breaking free, and it forces them to roll their willpower against a DC set by the zip ties to care enough to resist. It makes you just want to give up. Those are 1 use each, meaning you all have a set. Once you use it, it can't be used again. They're disposable. You also all have 1 use of hypospray bonding facilitation fluid. Super glue. Don't spray it on your fingers.
Or in your hair.
Yeah, or don't breathe it.
Too late.
Your man in black and both of your assassins have spray cams.
Nice.
Basically, it's a spray paint can. When you spray, you don't actually see the paint, but it sprays miniature cameras all over the entire area. Nanotech cams. You also all have, because the Technocracy always has to look good, you all also have form-fitting body armor that resists 2 lethal or 2 bashing but not aggravated. It's basically the equivalent of Kevlar, except it's the thickness of a t-shirt and it goes under your clothes.
Is that in addition to my black suit?
Yeah, so for you, that would put you at 6. You also all have...
That would put me at 3, right?
Yep. You also all have, well, yeah. They do stack with everything, but also the catch with those is they're meant to be single mission use, meaning every time you get hit and they do their job, they ablate. So it takes 2 hits before it's gone.
Got it.
Last but not least, you all have standard issue sidearms, nothing supernatural or hypertech about them.
Will that include the Biggs X5 Model R protector?
No, but you could requisition that. No, these are standard Technocracy firearms that fire standard explosive rounds, but not explosive.
That is standard Technocracy.
But unlike
It's just
civilian guns, these actually do give you -1 to your firearms difficulties when using them. And if you take the aim action, it's -2. And these have a semi-automatic mode. Those nonsense machine pistols you see in movies, that's what these are. If you want them to be. They hold 30 rounds. You're given 4 reloads each mission. So that's 150 rounds. The initial clip plus 4 more. And you are issued your standard operational vehicle, which is very it looks exactly like the most Jason Bourne-ish black government SUV / hybrid van you've ever seen. In the back is a remote operations center with a variety of tools for research and lower your DCs on certain things, like an FBI van. And it also has Armature 762's motorcycle in the back. Seats 6 in the back, and 3 in the front, if you need it to. Questions on any of that?
Nope.
No.
Okay. So, this is the first time you've all been back in the room together since your voluntary mind wipe. You all know each other, and you remember your history pre-mind wipe, where you all worked together on various missions that you can make up with your imaginations for about 3 years in the Detroit construct. The only thing that was wiped was the incident itself. So, like, basically, a 4-day period of time 3 months ago is gone. And then there was retraining, because every time you're reconditioned, there's a reacclimation period before you're reassigned to each other as an Amalgam. The name of your construct is actually the Detroit Experimental Station Symposium. This is one of 2 Detroit constructs, the other being the Greater Detroit Operations Center. In our beautiful cyberpunk Detroit, the city, of course, is home to 11 million people, and the sprawl goes way beyond its actual Detroit borders now. For JT, every possible suburb of Detroit is Detroit City now, and the suburbs have spread farther. Basically, the entire southeast portion of the state is Detroit.
Even like Ann Arbor and Lansing are Detroit?
Detroit's the capital of the state now, because Lansing was absorbed, yes. Annexed.
Okay.
That's why there's 2 constructs. It's a huge area. Your particular construct. One moment. Where'd it go? There we go. Your particular construct has 200 acres facility. So, I don't know. Somebody tell me what you think that is in city blocks.
200 acres?
Probably
Like 10 city blocks?
10 city blocks would be almost a square mile.
Let's see.
So it's almost a college campus, essentially.
Yeah. That's a good way to reference it. It's about the size of a college campus. A decent college, not a huge one. Let's see. Staff-wise, it has 16 enlightened agents, along with approximately 500 active agents that are aware that technocracy is a thing, and probably another part or full-time 2,000 people that work there that just think it's a corporation. You are actually in the main facility, which is the only high-rise structure. It's one of those glass high-rises that wraps around itself, like you'd think it'd be impossible for it to stand up on its own, but it does anyways. And you are, of course, on level 89 of 90, which is where the conference rooms are for agents and for field agents. So you can roleplay all walking into the room one at a time in your actual normal announcement order. Describe your appearance as you walk in and sit down and interact with each other. The supervisor has not arrived yet.
Ah, wonderful. I get to go first. And of course I would be first, because Seplina is always on time, if not early. Seplina, or Dasha for everyone else. She walks into the office. You see a fairly slender, fairly tall, about 5'9", 5'10", Russian woman. Hair down to her shoulders, black with red highlights. her augmentation skin with the red seams, also seen in a couple areas around her fingers and her wrists, but she's usually wearing a nice button-up shirt with work slacks, we will call them work slacks, and a nice vest. She enjoys a good vest. Sometimes you will see her with a cigar. However, at this time she does not have one. She has very deep hazel eyes and a 1,000-foot stare, but she's always thinking of something and reading the room.
Then shortly after, Satori walks in wearing a gray suit, white shirt underneath, no tie, a pair of sunglasses on, covering his cybernetic eyes. He's completely clean shaven and head shaved as well. Small implants here and there.
How do you greet each other?
Strides in.
When Tasha sees Satori come in, she would have gone in and sat down. She will not stand up. However, having worked with the Yakuza at least one time in her life, she would do the a general bow, not a full, more of a nod, but respectful. Probably playing with a lighter.
Also, I'm sure Murillo, followed by binary code, thanks for the follow, would like to know your history. Do you get along? Do you not get along? Do you have a romantic history? Do you hate each other? Do you fight over an ex that you both had? What do you got?
Myself and Satori, we have different ideas, but we do work well together. We are individuals of action. However, I see myself becoming more than what I am. While I do believe Satori is happy with where he is at in his organization.
Have either of you your organizations actually ever gone directly to war? Your non-technocratic mafias.
Not in Detroit. Maybe in the homelands, possibly in Japan. Russian mafia does have not a substantial foothold, but a presence. But nothing that I personally would have been privy to.
Okay. Satori, anything to add?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay.
That mind wipe must have done a number on me. But
Go ahead and-
Satori would return a slight bow and continue walking.
Yes. Go ahead and greet Satori back, and then as each of the next of you come in, after you describe yourself and greet the others, also throw in any hooks you want to each other as you go.
All right, so as John Nedry walks in next, he's wearing a pair of overpriced designer black jeans, black boots, black button-down shirt that is not tucked in. Arm sleeves are rolled up, revealing that his left arm is actually a cybernetic arm. He's wearing the same hat that I'm wearing, sort of tongue-in-cheek cybercrime, despite the fact that he's actually a former U.S. intelligence community contractor in various cybersecurity and information security aspects. Since he is he's a double agent and relatively new and defected, he's still trying to find his way. He, being former U.S. government, he's not going to be a fan of the mafiosos in this group, who are currently the two in the room. So he's mostly going to kind of like chill by the door. It's just sort of not a acknowledgement of existence, but that's about it at this time.
And do you want any connections to anyone in the room?
I think he already put it that way.
Yeah, I think that the connection is that
there is no connection.
There is no connection. Yeah. I can see like perhaps. I'm trying to think, like, typically like intelligence community stuff isn't working directly against the mob. That'd be more one step away with like FBI and like federal law enforcement, not CIA or NSA types typically, in my understanding. So that wouldn't really be a connection there.
You are a turned asset. You actually used to work for the enemy of the Technocracy, the Council of Nine Mystic Traditions. The closest their faction comes to a technocrat is the Virtual Adepts. But you were tired of your fellow Virtual Adepts talking about hyperspace like it's its own little mystical dimension. Ooh, spooky. No, this is science. Fuck you guys, I'm out. So yeah, you probably actually would not have worked against these organizations, because as part of your turning, they probably would have actually helped you use your access to help these organizations to prove your loyalty.
Yep.
Next.
Agent Hardigan walks in. He's in a black suit, white shirt, black tie. Surprisingly comfortable in his dress black shoes. He has maybe shoulder length hair that's pulled slick back, so you can't really get a good read on how long it actually is. His mirror shades are translucent at the time. They transition so that in lighting that he has control, or in situations where he doesn't need it, he is able to turn it off. He's able to turn it on. So at this time you are able to see his brown eyes. He's going to look around the room and make pleasant nods and small talk, but he's distracted and doesn't really hold up deep conversation. He does enough to be polite and be respectful of his co-workers, because that is what is mutual.
Excellent.
Finally, Agent Armature 762 enters. He's dressed similarly to a lot of the others, with a black suit, white shirt, black tie. Looks very similar to our progenitor with the shaved head. He has the standard issue black sunglasses on, but he has them kind of slid down his nose so that he can look over them, and you can see his eyes are just basically look like ball bearings in the sockets. And he is deep in research on his tablet, basically glances up just long enough to see who's in the room. Doesn't really make eye contact, just kind of scans who's there, and then back to it, tapping away on his tablet. More than likely, he has dealt with or assisted a lot of you in your possibly in the past with different missions, just because he is not necessarily a member of Q branch, but he has access to a lot of technology, or he can fabricate stuff that may be needed, possibly a little bit quicker than they can.
The moment you get seated, the clock ticks over to a quarter to the hour. The door bursts open, and in strides your supervisor, Elizabeth Horn. You're allowed to call her Betsy, Agent Betsy. She is the full stereotype of an 80s business tycoon packed into a 5'0" frame. It's a force of nature. She is in charge of both the mundane and enlightened field missions for your construct. She's a loyal company woman. And the only odd thing about her is she moves her arms and legs oddly, and you understand it's because of some kind of flaw in one of her enhancements. Her limbs are calcifying because she's got some kind of beta hypertech that's going wrong, and they haven't figured out how to fix it yet. It's fine. Everything's fine. She looks around and says, yes, good. You're all here. Excellent. If you're not 15 minutes early, you're late. So, shall we begin? Looks at all of you.
Armiger stows his tablet and pays full attention.
Good, good. Turns towards the front of the room and swipes her hand, and a digital display pops up, projected from the back like a hologram. Very much Minority Report. And starts showing slides that represent what she's talking about. Your mission is to investigate the abduction of engineering assets from Valley Industries headquarters in Detroit. As you know, Orachi, which is a Technocracy subsidiary, owns Valley and several other companies as its subsidiaries. I'm sure you've all heard, whether or not you have is up to you, I'm sure you've all heard that an outside force managed to actually bypass our and their security systems, break in and steal some highly placed engineers who are very important to the inauguration ceremonies of InGen, our new satellite technology. We need you to investigate what happened, gather evidence, find those responsible, report back to us, and wait orders for further action. And the slides are showing the Valley Industries building, some of the damage, security camera footage of cyberpunk helicopters actually assaulting the building, people flying out through windows, dropping 50 stories, landing on their feet and running away, like discharge of energy when they hit the ground. She looks at all of you with an eyebrow raised.
Are we expecting any opposition?
Not from Valley. However, it is a top secret facility and most of what they do is classified. So expect to be scrutinized and they may hassle you about access to classified areas. However, we will ensure that, what's your last name again, Jacob? I apologize.
Hardigan.
We will be sure that Agent Hardigan is supplied with Valley Level 4 clearance access. You'll have to follow his lead. We've checked loyalty reviews and we've done our standard battery of observation tests while you were showering and exercising and sleeping and using the bathroom, and we've decided that he's the most loyal, so he's the one we're giving full access to.
Just gonna be silently offended over here.
What do we have on the facility personnel?
As that is the Detroit Valley HQ, there are approximately 10,000 employees in that building, ranging from standard business staff all the way to classified project management. The building itself, so Valley...
Are there any enlightened?
Augmented, yes. Enhanced with cutting-edge technocratic technology, yes. Enlightened, like us, no.
And the engineers that were taken, were they...
All brilliant researchers
Standard?
that we were grooming to hopefully become the geniuses that you all are, but only one of them had done so already. The rest were near, but not quite. In layman's terms, for the rest of you not used to the technocracy, they're about to awaken but hadn't yet, except for the person in charge of their team.
Nothing above a T2 status then.
No. None of them had any status in the technocracy. They had rank in their company. But they were all still civilian assets considered at the time.
What kind of concern do we have with malicious insiders that still might have access?
Unknown. That's why we need you to not waste any time finding the perpetrators. She doesn't mean get out now by that. She just means don't dawdle once you start. She will enlighten you that Valley is one of the subsidiaries of the Irachi group. Valley sorry, one second. Valley's the world leader in biotechnology and genetic research, working to unlock the full human potential in the present, safeguard it from harm in generations to come. Also, as you know, been having a lot of strange glitches and breakdowns and malfunctions in cybernetic enhancements. Seems to be happening worldwide. Might be some kind of glitch in the software or mechanical failure from manufacturing facilities of Anansi Technologies, which is the corporation that actually creates cybernetic enhancements. Vali creates the science, Anansi creates the physical hardware. This is a thing you know. There's been a lot recently of strange glitches, nothing dangerous, just like your arm will start shaking and you'll drop shit, or your eye will flick out and go off. Everything will be purple for a minute. Just random nonsense like that. Everyone has been told by the corporations that control cybernetics they have to all expenses to repair will be covered. All you need to do is visit your nearest dream clinic. Dream clinics are stations set up throughout all the major cities of the world where you can walk in and get your enhancements repaired, fixed, upgraded, get enhancements added. It's like a quick care clinic for cybernetics. Dream, of course, is an acronym for Dynamic Reality Electronic Augmentation Mechanisms. When you visit the facility, you'll receive a new replacement biochip in your mods that will replace the glitches, that will remove the glitches.
Does the security footage that we are shown show the full grabbing of these assets?
Did we get the original footage?
Nope, you see the footage. So outside cameras picked up 2 assault helicopters, sleek black things. I say helicopter, but the blades are actually, you know how an Apache has the side fins? The blades are in that, and they're like repulsor blades. There's no rotor on the top. One assaulted the building from the front and drew the security. The other one dropped people on the roof from the back. Time passes, and then 2 of the 4 people that went in jumped out through a 15th story window, or whatever. 50th story window, hit the ground running and took off. Just indistinct shadows, you can't get any detail. You can see the telltale energy discharge of cybernetics breaking the impact. Like absorbing the energy and dispersing it to the environment so you don't shatter your legs. And then the other 2, you never actually see exit. All internal cameras were disabled upon entry. Almost like they had the codes.
Almost like there's a malicious insider.
All security staff present at the time are dead. 100% kill rate. So there's nobody to tell you what happened.
So we've got no video of what went on inside.
There
and all of the security personnel that were in there are dead.
Right. There were other staff working, a lot of them because it's around the clock organization. There was even one of the board of directors was present. Board of director members was present. They reported seeing fully masked individuals wearing high-tech infiltration gear. with advanced stealth units, like they could refract light and disappear. They were told, get on your knees, don't resist, we won't kill you, and they didn't kill any civilians, only security personnel. Voice modulators to hide voices.
Suspiciously like an inside job.
And it was two engineers that were taken?
Four.
Four
Lead
engineers
engineer and her 3 key engineers were working overtime to prepare for the InGen unveiling party that's happening in a week.
So the 2 that we see jumping out of the window are not carrying the 4 engineers?
Nope.
Are not.
Correct.
Do we know what they were working on?
InGen. InGen is super top secret, but basically, InGen is a new linkage isn't the word I'm looking for. A new bunch of connected satellites. Network, that's the word.
Network.
A new network of satellites, not just around Earth, but also going out to the International Space Station, and then the ISS-2, and then the ISS-3, and then out to Mars. They've been building way stations for travel to Mars.
Interstellar.
Earth is about to start mining for resources, because, that's what we do. We wreck everything.
So top level U.S. government officials would be aware of this project. This is not like internal to the...
This is the technocracy trying to move the paradigm forward to accept space as part of the reality of everyday life.
Why do you
this
think
new satellite
Space
network?
Force
Go ahead.
Why do you think the 45 created Space Force? Space Force is needed as a cover for this technocracy mission.
Space Force is in fact utilized by the Void Engineers when necessary to cover things up. They're not called Space Force anymore, though. Now they're just Interstellar Marines. I'm sure that'll be fine. But this new InGen satellite technology allows basically cell phone calls all the way to the last way station, almost instantaneously. That's why it's revolutionary.
And it was the lead engineer and 3 of her assistants that were
Top
taken?
assistants, correct.
Okay.
And there's no footage of those engineers or the other 2 individuals leaving.
There's nothing inside or outside of the kidnapped people, correct. The only camera footage they have is from the west and the southwest sides of the building. The other side, everything was blacked out. That's probably where they left from.
The chapter that dropped him off, did it stick around or did it leave?
It did its job, and then it took off. The roof helicopter left immediately after dropping its payload.
Well,
they didn't leave in a helicopter, probably.
Unless it was the other one.
I think he said that both of them left immediately after doing their job.
From the one view of security cams you have, yes.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that another one didn't come in from the other way that we can't see.
True.
So I think that we've probably... Do we have everything we need here?
I have one last question, though. I'm sorry.
You said all of the guards were killed. Where are the bodies?
She gives you a look like, excellent question, Agent, but very, I'm short of words today. I need more caffeine. Macabre. Very macabre of you. Presumably spread out amongst the local burial facilities preparing to be buried.
Were autopsies conducted?
Yes.
Can we have those reports?
Yes.
And then any of the footage, if I could get that
Yes.
transferred to...
I'll already upload to your VDOSs.
Wonderful.
Autopsies weren't really done on the bodies. It was more retrieve what killed them and analyze the ammunition rounds and whatnot to see if they could trace the source that way. Which is another interesting fact. It appears that all of the rounds used in the incursion were made specifically for this incursion. They're not mass-produced. They were handmade for the assault.
Hmm.
Was any other type of assets, like non-human resource assets, taken that we know of, like data or anything
No.
like that, or is it?
Another interesting fact. Didn't raid the computer systems or even try to break the cryptography at all. Also, like I said, board of director was there. She told him, "Don't move, we won't shoot you." Like, that's odd too. Just for the ransom alone, that could have been worth a lot. This was a very targeted strike.
This wasn't about money. It was about whatever work they were doing.
Are they working on any other projects?
Unknown. You can try to find out.
Does the files have any personal background information on the engineers?
Dr.
Family,
Elizabeth
friends,
Nedry was the head.
activities?
Dr. Elizabeth Nedry was the head engineer. Her only connection outside of the job, she had a romantic interest in the head of security of the company, who's dead. Trying to defend her, was killed and tossed out a 30th story window. He's very dead. Her family had died from diseases that have now been cured by augmentations. That's why she's a leading person in the engineering, in the bioengineering field, telecommunications, augmentations. The reason she was working on top secret satellite technology is she's an expert in instant communication between forms of media, not just sound, but also light, electricity, mental reaction time to make your augments react based on your thoughts immediately, stuff like that. She's an expert in site-to-site communications in all of its forms.
Is that her last name is the same as mine? Have any bearing whatsoever on this, or is that just?
Yeah, that's
Nope.
odd.
That was picked by me before I knew your name.
Oh, okay. So we just both landed on the same last name.
Correct.
Okay.
It's a good movie name. The other three scientists were Beth Deuce, Deuce like D-E-U-C-E. Lillian Okoye, and Peter Nilsson. Not Nielsen, Nilsson, like Nielsen without the E. A
I'm
astrophysicist.
sorry, what was the lead's name again?
Elizabeth Nedry. Nilsson's is an astrophysicist, and the other two were also engineers.
Has anyone spoken with the survivors?
That's your job.
Well, let's get jobbing.
Let's go.
Good luck, agents. Report in anything interesting you find. Turns around, starts facing the display, starts interfacing with it, completely ignoring you.
Soplina will get up and start heading out.
You make your way through the building, making small talk to each other while you pass various rooms where the most bizarre nonsense ever is happening that you completely ignore because that's normal. And then you find the elevator and you make your way down to the more normal levels, and eventually you make your way down to the sub-basement into the motor pool, where your SUV/van is waiting.
Armature would climb into the back and immediately begin going through the data that they received.
Okay. Is that for fluff, or are you actually trying to prepare a spell ahead of time? Which is also allowed.
I have no idea what
Okay, so when you're doing magic, we're going to refer to it as magic because it's easier to wrap your head around, and then we'll just convert it to hyper science when we describe it. But basically, you can prep spells ahead of time, sort of the D&D mock-up, where you do most of the prep work early, so that when it comes time to enact the procedure, which is what you'd call it, you only need a couple actions to do it, as opposed to rolling all of the successes during on the fly. Because I might say, recalling that piece of information using the mind sphere, you're going to look at that window and you're going to, we'll say forces. You're going to use forces on the window to have it replay everything that happened the last 12 hours by replaying the images, right? Reversing the light particles. It's going to be like 15 successes and you're going to be standing there for an hour while you're getting shot at. You could do the prep work ahead of time by telling me if this fits your practice, it has to fit your practice. I'm going to look through all these materials and find the key moments that matter, and I'm going to prep my VDOS so that when I use it to read the light molecules on the window, it knows exactly what molecules to read, and then you do part of the spell now and the rest on the site. That's what prep work is.
Okay.
Or you can also cast spells that last for more than a scene ahead of time, that just persist. The trick to that is it makes further spells harder because you're splitting your concentration.
Okay. Yeah, he would be looking through that. I think he would specifically be interested in the entry, like you said, using reflections to try and get a better view of what's going on inside, just because we don't have that. So reading the vibrations on the windows once they get there. Yeah, so I think prepping would be something that he would definitely be doing at this point.
Okay, how many dots and forces do you have?
2.
You have any correspondence?
1.
Okay. Also, at this point, you would all have one personalized instrument for your primary sphere. Just bring this up. A tool that you have personalized that you use the most for your primary sphere for its activations. For instance, for Jacob, it's almost undoubtedly going to be the mirror shades. When you're using that tool for that sphere, it's always easier. So what's your primary sphere, Armature?
My primary sphere is matter.
So it would not apply to this, but it would apply possibly in the future. So, in this case, because you're using files you have, you're researching lore about the subject, which actually makes it slightly easier. At 2 dots, that's a standard feat. However, it is a large area, so that's going to up the difficulty some. Because you have pictures, you essentially have a body sample, we're going to say in this case, for correspondence connection. Meaning, and what's your arete? 3?
2.
2. Meaning you get 3 tries at this, 3 dice rolls. You need 3 successes, and the difficulty is 5. You roll your arete as a pool for each of the rolls.
Wait, what?
So your arete is your dice pool for magic.
Okay.
You're going to get 3 rolls to get 5. You need 3 successes, you'll get 3 tries.
Okay.
Difficulty is 5.
Okay. So 2 dice.
2 dice, yep.
5, that's a 7 and a 1, so that's 0.
Yep.
A 6 and a 7, so that's 2.
Yep.
And then 3 and a 5.
3, exactly what you needed. So that means when you get there, you only have to spend like 1 turn analyzing it, 1 more roll, and then I'll give you the information you need to complete the spell, or the procedure. If you had... Now, I didn't do it on that one because that was a warm-up for all of you to see as players. Technically, because he failed, every time you fail during the spell roll, the DC goes up by 1, max of 9, never hits 10. Can never be less than 3, can never be higher than 9.
Oh, because it's an extended action.
Correct.
Okay.
And then, if you botched, you can spend a willpower point, but only once per casting, to save the spell. DC goes up by 1, carry on. And if you don't spend the willpower, you drop the spell. There's no, like, botch side effect, you just lose the effect and have to start over. Anybody else on the way there? Also, who's driving?
I have a drive of 2, so I feel like I might be a drive. Anyone else have a higher drive than me?
Well, Dasha doesn't drive.
I have a drive of 2.
People drive her.
Nedry and Satori, if you both have 2, is either of you want to do a procedure ahead of time, because that's the one that should not drive. Examples are Nedry could jack into virtual space in preparation for getting into their network when he gets there. Satori could do a quick meditative trance and some stretch routines to get ready to punch something. Whatever fits your practice and your paradigm. Not required.
I feel like being sort of like this sort of outsider that I'd be the one forced to drive.
Okay. Acceptable. So, Jacob, I believe you were going to say you were going to try to do a procedure or part of one?
So yeah, just gonna say that he's going to prepare, just kind of mentally meditate and prepare to face whoever may be, in his opinion, less than forthcoming with information when they get there.
So you're going to go into your mind palace and go through all of the things you do to convince people to do what you want.
Essentially, yeah.
Okay. So what you got in mind? 3?
4.
4. Arete is 4 then. This would account your personalized instruments. This will be subtle. Oh, that's the other thing I didn't mention for armature. Most of what you're doing right now is subtle. Technocracy rarely does extreme or vulgar. Sometimes you have to. Usually they're subtle or uncanny. It'll be an individual when the target happens. Standard feat for you. You are also researching lore because you have the names of the people you want to talk to. Meaning, you have 5 rolls to get 2 successes with a difficulty of 3. I think you got this.
All right.
Believe in you.
Let's see. So that first roll, 2 9s, an 8, and a 2.
Go ahead and, wait, that was more than you needed. So, 2 above the base. Wait, no, go ahead and keep rolling. Roll till you're out of rolls unless you hit a botch and then stop.
And that was how many rolls you were giving me?
You had 5 rolls, so go ahead and keep rolling until you either fail or botch or hit 5.
Okay. For the record, roll number 4 adds 4 success, or number 2 adds 4 successes.
Okay.
Roll number 3 adds 2 more, so that's what, 9 now.
Okay.
Roll number 4 is a 10, an 8, a 5, and a 1.
Okay, 10 kills the 1, so that's 3 more. So now you're at 12.
And the final roll is 2 10s,
Nice.
7 and a 4.
All right, so 16 divided by 2 is 8, meaning you can remove up to 8 from your DC for any social roll to coerce amongst however many targets you want for the duration of your time in the building. Not 8 each, 8 total, so spread it out. Or save it for the hard person. Can't drop a DC below 4 or 3 that way. That's your floor.
Fair enough.
Anybody else? Satori or Dasha?
Dasha is going to prep a mind spell to weaken the will of someone that she's speaking to, like lowering or making them seem like she is a person of authority.
So for your practice, how does that come out? Do you just sit there and look in a mirror and practice being fierce, or what's your routine that's not magical?
Oh no, it would be staring in a mirror. It's
Just practicing faces? That's awesome.
yes.
Adjust your hair to the certain angle. Okay. What do you have in mind? How many dots?
Oh, 2. I thought you were like, what do you have in mind? Like, what do I want to do?
What's your your enlightenment?
3.
And your primary sphere is not mind. Okay.
No.
4 rolls. You need 2 successes. Difficulty's 4.
And I'm just rolling.
Enlightenment as a dice pool.
How many successes did you say?
You need 2, but you can keep going until you use up all 4 rolls. You fail or you botch.
Did I not click it? Ah, there it is. That's 2 successes.
Okay. Keep going.
Wait, what the?
Yes.
That is, unless it's just counting successes.
Yeah,
Or is
the
it-
only
readout
counts
of the
successes.
spell ruler only shows you successes. It doesn't show the rest, yeah. We used to have it show
Well, it
everything,
shows
but
it
it
like
would
it-
constantly break.
Oh. So 1 more success. It's 3 total.
So basically, if you hover over it, Zach, you'll see it rolled 3 dice. And then he rolled 2 successes and a failure on that third one. That's what the -1 means. Or, I mean, a 1. If it shows red, it's a 1. If it shows green, it's a 10. Otherwise, it's just a success or a fail.
Based on whatever I set the difficulty to.
Right.
I need 4 successes, right?
Yes.
Some questions. Alright, that's 5 successes total.
You got 1 roll left, though, so go ahead and use it. Oh! Right.
That's 9 successes.
So that's 8 because you needed a base number. What was your base number I gave you? Hold on, I'm going back to the card. You needed 2 base, so that's actually 7. We'll round down. You have 3 successes to use. Same thing as Jacob, but less successes.
Okay.
You can reduce the difficulty of any social encounters by a total of 3 throughout the time in the building. Not all, any combination of 3 reductions.
Got it.
Last but not least, Satori. Also, while Satori's thinking, the difference between Jacob and Dasha is Jacob's using it to coerce, Dasha's using it to assert authority. Those are not the same thing. So you could theoretically do it to the same person, but you can't stack the bonus. Could assist each other that way, though.
Yes.
I cannot think of much to do here except prepare a spell for the next person I hit. Just is going to have a bad time. So
Okay. What do you have in life?
I have life in 2. I have 2 life.
What's your primary again?
My primary sphere is prime, just 3.
Yes.
So if I can use them together to deal aggravated damage when I hit people.
You could prepare the 5-finger death punch, yes.
Beautiful. All right.
How much enlightenment do you have?
I have 3.
Well, that one is going to be uncanny. Meaning, when you
Ooh.
do this, it doesn't happen now because you haven't used it, but when you do it, you will gain 1 point of paradox automatically, and an extra point if you fail or botch the spell. And that's your primary sphere, right?
Prime is my primary sphere.
What's your personalized instrument? I haven't been asking that.
My personalized instrument?
Something that focuses... spirituality isn't really a thing in the Technocracy, but chi is. You would believe in chi and maybe even karma as a force of energy in the universe. Or other such energy form, like translating a spiritual concept into just energy.
Alternatively, could my personalized instrument be a knife which was a heirloom from when I was just in the Yakuza and not a technocratic Yakuza member.
Yes.
So just take out the knife, not like unsheath it, but have it in my hand, just flipping it over, feeling its weight, getting ready, in case it comes down to stabbing someone.
Even you don't even have to be stabbing. It could simply be the way you focus your internal biochemistry is by using the knife in a routine set of motions. That's very martial arts.
Just practicing in the back seat.
What is your personalized instrument, Dasha?
I don't know.
I'll give you a minute and come back to you later. And what about you,
give me a
Armature?
His tablet.
Perfect. That you programmed yourself, of course, and ain't got no Windows on it.
That's right.
You don't use Windows 13. That's garbage. Okay. So that's an unlucky number. Why the hell would they just not skip to 14? Questions that you have for Microsoft. The Technocracy does not control. So back to Satori. I am checking everything else on the sheet. I'm gonna make this hurt, because why not? You have 4 rolls. You need 5 successes against a difficulty of 5.
Okay. 4 successes against a difficulty of 5. Alright, first roll. 2 successes.
Good start.
Something messed up with my stuff. So
You can use any D10 roller if everything breaks. You don't have to use the one in Astral. Or you can use a physical die if you have it.
another 2 successes.
Okay, 2 more rolls.
And that's 3 more successes.
1 more roll. You have passed your goal, which means you're stacking extra bonuses now.
And I believe that's 2.
So that's 9 total of the 5 you needed, meaning the next target you hit within 24 hours will take 8 levels of lethal damage of dice, not automatic. You still have to roll them. You get 8 dice of lethal damage, and your difficulty to hit will be at -2 from whatever the base is, depending on the target.
Lethal or aggravated? Just make sure.
You could make it aggravated and cut the dice in half and get 4 dice to roll. Up to you.
Or aggravated sounds a lot better to me.
It'll make more of an impression, even if you don't kill him.
Hmm.
Okay.
I mean, it's the same thing if we deal with mortals, so.
That's pretty true. Well, if he doesn't kill them and he does aggravated, that's going to last. That scar's not going away.
More to send a message than anything here.
Especially since you're using Prime. You're hitting them right in the soul. Wait, souls aren't real. You're hitting them right in the life force. So, as you pull into the high-rise, we realize it's exactly time for break. So, audience, don't go anywhere. We'll be back in 10 minutes. We're going to take a quick mid-show break, and then we'll get into the investigation. We shall return. And we've returned. Before the break, our players got all their cool upgrades, learned what their mission was going to be, met their supervisor, were reintroduced to each other from former missions. They know each other. And all learned, not the hard way, looking at Dwayne and Key, that a prepared mage is a mage who wins. That's a callback. You should go check out our YouTube sometime and check out our Victorian Mage 5 or 6 part story we did, where they literally learned what happens when a mage is not prepared, and mage is prepared in the best and worst possible ways. TPK to defeated the enemy in 1 round. That's the difference between prepared mage and unprepared mage. Yeah, Stolen Fires also knows that lesson from that game. Okay. And Key learned the hard way what happens when you rewind time.
Oh. No regrets.
You pull into the parking lot of the high-rise. You flash your badge. Doesn't matter. They still make you pay $5 to park. Who's paying?
I'll pay.
Dasha pays your parking fee, gets a parking ticket, and now you're parked in the west parking lot, row D, subsection 3. You don't have to remember that. It's up to you what you do from here. If there's anything you want to do before you get out and go into the building, or what your plan is.
I feel like we should have one person stay back with the van, and I will volunteer for that if no one else wants to, or if it makes sense for another character, let me know.
This facility is a subsidiary of ours.
This is a subsidiary of Arachi. You control Arachi, but it's not directly controlled by the Technocracy. However, Arachi is your cover. The van says, Arachi Corp, we will.
So this
that's their
is
slogan.
a van that is... So this is a van that is going to be watched for anybody messing with it by security. We
Yes.
should be good to leave it without anybody needing to stay behind.
That was not my concern. My concern was having access to the tools in the back of the van while the rest of you are in there, and for any reason.
Yeah, that's a good idea, actually.
But I think Agent Hardigan's sort of taking the lead on this, so I'm happy to capitulate.
I mean, if there's going to be any need for surveillance from the inside, we're going to need as much eyes and ears on the inside as possible. We can always gather the data and run it later if there's anything that we need to further investigate. We can always come back. This is
Fair
not
enough.
a facility that's going to be off limits to us.
All right.
In other words, don't make me do this. Splitting the party? Excellent. That's what Jacob's worried about. All right.
Jacob's worried about leaving a virtual adept behind in a van.
I mean, he's past certification.
He may have.
Okay, so you head into the building. We don't need to roleplay going inside, but this is a very elegant building. It doesn't have silly revolving doors or doors that you touch. They actually iris open when you walk in. It's some kind of see-through aluminum, so it actually can iris, but it looks like it's glass. When you go inside, it automatically scans you, tries to catch your eyes if it can, and then tailors the experience to you if it recognizes you from advertising systems that blanket the planet now. Jacob, welcome to Valley, and then it starts talking to you about how cool Valley is. I guess technically it's a vestibule, but I mean it's a massive room that could hold a couple hundred people. Marble floor, vaulted ceiling, goes up a couple stories.
Atrium.
There are 3 separate welcome desks. Atrium, yes. 3 separate welcome desks, like 50 couches. There's probably 30 people milling around in here, not counting the staff at the welcome desks. Also, no less than 12 armed guards, armed with assault rifles, and they're wearing obvious body armor. Which makes sense, considering what just happened here. Not just, but like 36 hours ago, I didn't mention that.
Were we able to get in with our weapons and stuff, or no?
Yes. The system scanned you, scanned the weapons, scanned your verification.
So there's no need to indicate that we may be from a specific agency then.
No, if you walk up to the desk, they'll know who you are because they've already been informed by the security system.
As far as they're concerned, we work for Hirachi.
All right. As far as they're concerned, you're here because they failed.
Yeah.
You're the scary auditors, essentially.
And I'm making sure to look scary.
Yeah. Just Satori, Dasha, and Jacob alone, and their perfectly tailored $5,000 suits are making an impression, yes.
And of course, I always, Nedry's always there looking out of place in like business casual.
Yep.
A backpack instead of a briefcase.
You look like somebody's intern. And then you got Dasha over there, perfectly coiffed, but like you can see the tattoos coming out of the neck, which that's ominous. It's probably tattoos coming out of the sleeve because you're Russian mafia.
Yeah, overlaying with the red lines from her augmentation.
And you might too, Satori. It's up to you. You at least have the full back one, but it doesn't mean you have other ones on the front. That's up to you.
We will get into Satori's magnificent tattoos when shit hits the fan,
Excellent.
I think. But
So, and then Armature just looks like Fox Mulder, but scary.
He's got the suit and a shaved head.
Exactly.
Is anybody coming out to greet us?
Not yet, because you just stopped and are kind of wandering through the vestibule. The word that I already got told and forgot already. Atrium.
Atrium.
I'm gonna head over to the center of the 3 greeting areas.
Okay. There's a no-nonsense brunette there with long black hair, wearing shades a lot like yours, except obviously these are digital, not to look cool inside a building. It's processing information. Flanked by 2 more security guards with assault rifles. Sees you come up and says, "Yes, Agent Jacob, welcome." Starts laying out passes to the building. And then got VIP 3334.
Thank you. I'd like to see the area the engineers were working in.
Of course. Glances at one of the guards who steps out from behind the desk. And he pulls up his little wristwatch / mini computer, types a code into it, and swipes his hand at the wall behind the security desk that's still inside the desk. And the veneer digitizes out of the way, and you see that's a private elevator. They open the door. They open the little double doors that let you behind the desk.
Thank you. I'm gonna step through and
I'll go
Just-
with.
head straight to the elevator.
Are you all going, or is someone going to stay in the lobby just for fun?
I'm gonna go.
I'll go.
Who's the new head of security?
We have not yet replaced security. Currently, Arachi has... This is the lady talking, not the guard. The guard hasn't said a word yet. Currently, Arachi has loaned us special operations security forces until we manage to hire an entirely new security crew. She doesn't laugh. That's me. As you glance over at the guard again, you do see he's actually not wearing a volley uniform. He's got the Arachi symbol on it. And he does look like he's seen combat.
So who would be the who would replace Neri or Nedry?
Nedry was the head engineer and the doctor. Nedry was irreplaceable.
So, and then her top 3 assistants were with her. So who's next? Is there anybody left that was working on the research?
Yes, but that department's been closed down, and all of those personnel are undergoing reevaluation and not interrogation, questioning. Trying to find the leak. They are not on site, and whatever they're going through is undoubtedly unpleasant.
So who's in charge of the building right now?
Charge of R&D. That would be currently the building. Actually, at the very, very top floor in the penthouse offices, you will find P.A. Tervali, grandson of the founder. That's how big a deal. That's how big a deal this was.
And how are sort of local or federal or state law enforcement involved at all, or has this all been kept internal?
FBI's been notified, but I mean, this is Arachi. They're staying out of the way.
Trade secrets.
Like the FBI and the CIA should probably be here, but they're not because some senators made some phone calls. And then if somebody tried to go over the senators, they would get a very disapproving head shake from the president.
Was this the work of Agent Dasha, or was this someone else?
Keeping law enforcement out, that's because of how well-placed in everything Arachi is. Arachi has more power in this world than world governments.
Yeah,
Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
And then final question, because I have Allies 4 and it's all highly placed intelligence community, would that be any help here, or is that kind of...
You don't know yet. You'd need to have something specific to ask them.
Okay.
Could be, though.
I'm going to wait on that until we have something more substantial, or make those calls.
Yeah. Elevator goes up. Lost my train of thought. Elevator goes up 15 stories. And then you get off that elevator and you're actually taken across the floor. The building, so all the floors are pretty close to the same, where there's offices around the exterior of the perimeter. And then there's a circular roundabout hallway. It's more like an oval with an overlook that lets you look all the way down to the bottom floor. Almost all the way up. After 50 stories, that stops, and there are solid floors. All of the offices are state-of-the-art, so like they're glass, but you can shade and tint the glass all the way to completely opaque. At the 15th floor, they walk you from that elevator all the way across to the other side of that floor, where there's another elevator that only opens for Jacob's security card. And from there, you go up another 30 floors to the 45th floor. 45th floor opens up into R&D. It's a fucking mess. There's broken glass, shattered tools and implements, and broken plant pottery and wrecked furniture everywhere. Smashed pieces of technology, metal scattered everywhere. There's still blood around, hasn't been completely cleaned up. There's little numbers and like taping off areas from their internal audit. Bullet casings everywhere. Scorch marks on the wall from energy weapons.
Maybe I missed it, but is the security guard with us, or are we on our own up here?
He came with you, but when you get off on the engineering floor, he just steps outside of the elevator and just stations himself next to it. He's not like... He's not your shadow. He's just your escort.
Anybody from the facility with us?
No. You didn't request anyone, so they didn't send anyone. The floor itself is sealed off. There's nobody here except you.
You said scorches of energy weapons.
Yep. They do exist in the sleeper world, but they're super rare.
Does the facility's guard use them?
No. Definitely from the attackers. And these aren't like laser guns. These are like heat-emitting devices that will like boil you and like warp and wreck your equipment. Hence the scorch marks.
Lovely.
Yeah, concentrated condensed blasts of superheat. Not pleasant.
All right, well, let's try something, even though I didn't prepare this. So we're like right at the entrance to the engineering level, right?
Correct.
Utilizing correspondence and time. Could I get an idea of the path of projectiles trying to determine the number of assailants?
Yes. Describe how you would do that using science while I set the card up. Also, what's your correspondence rank?
2.
Forces?
For forces?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't say forces.
I know.
None.
Matter?
None.
Okay. Go ahead and describe.
So as Dasha's kind of twisting on her necklace, kind of removes herself from the space in her mind, and then mathematically, based on the impact, knowing specific times of how long it would take to get to a certain point from A to B, because she's got time, she's able to triangulate.
Are you going to take your time doing this? You can fast cast, you can normal cast, or you can take your time. Obviously, fast is harder, taking time is easier.
Yes, I will take my time.
So once I rack this up for Dasha, you guys can describe what you're doing, because this will take him at least 20 or 30 minutes. Okay. Ooh. What's your enlightenment?
3.
This one, it's not easy for you. You want to spend some primal energy?
What's the difficulty?
8.
Yeah.
Okay. 1
Why
point,
not?
2 points. You can spend up to your genius rating in points.
2.
2. Now your difficulty is 6. You get 4 rolls. Begin. You need 3 successes, so it's a higher DC, but you don't need a ton of successes. We'll have you roll first before I ask them what they're doing, because of how long it takes will determine how much time they have.
Right out the gate. A botch.
Willpower to maintain.
I will willpower to maintain.
Don't forget, audience, you can award any player 1 point of willpower per session if you like. If you're a subscriber, 3. 3 players, 1 point each. Or some variation of that math.
1 success.
Okay, that's 2 rolls.
Oh, yeah, there we go. 5 successes total on 3 rolls.
Ah, okay. 2 more than you needed, but it took an entire 45 minutes, 15 minutes per roll. So, Satori, Jacob, Armature, and Nedry, 45 minutes. What are you doing?
Armature would be moving to the glass that they came in through, that they broke.
Gonna complete your thing?
And he's going to complete his thing there, yeah.
Go ahead and roll your Arete for me against difficulty of 4.
A 10 and a 4.
You complete yours successfully. What else would you like to do? Because you were prepared ahead of time, so that took moments.
Then he would... he wants to examine those burn marks, those strikes.
Excellent. Much matter?
He's got matter 2, and that is his
your primary. Okay. Enlightenment 3.
Enlightenment 2.
2. Wait, I gotta start this over. It won't do the math right. Do you have forces at all?
Forces 2.
Excellent.
But my arete should be the same as my genius, right?
Correct. Sorry, I should be saying genius.
Okay, so I should be at 3 then. Sorry.
You gonna take your time since she is?
Yeah. I don't think we're in a rush here, so.
Nope, you're not yet. No doom yet. So, your difficulty is only 5 because you had both all the spheres necessary. You need 2 successes. You have 4 rolls to do it.
Okay. Ooh, that's a botch.
Spend willpower to keep it.
Oh my
Yep.
god. We're straight
Don't
up
forget
eight.
difficulty 6 now.
Botch.
Everybody.
Okay. So that's 2 10s.
And you're done.
Wow.
All right, Jacob.
4 rolls, right?
You had 4 rolls, but for this, doing more rolls won't provide more information
Oh,
because
okay.
you got what you needed in less time than necessary.
Got it.
So there's a keypad somewhere that is used
Several.
to access these rooms. Several. These are all manual enter keypads, or are they key swipes?
This is R&D, so you swipe the key, you have to provide a palm print, it scans your eyes, and there's a code. 4-factor authentication.
As far as like just the building in general, though, so these people had to have gotten into the building and access the code to shut off the internal security.
Well, some came in through the roof, right?
Yeah, they came from the top. You don't know how they got through the roof door, though, which theoretically would be secure, yes. You could ask the guard that.
Okay. I was gonna see if I could just do little correspondence to read patterns and see if there's any information.
Actually, roll perception plus alertness, difficulty 6. You can convince all of your co-workers that you're definitely doing this with hyperscience because you're the man. But really, you're just like, oh, I see what happened.
Is it perception and alertness?
Yep, 6, DC 6.
That is 1.
One's enough. You see that the main entrance to the floor, which is not the elevator you took, you had the VIP elevator. Clearly a shape charge blew that control panel into dust. Small shape charges forcing entry. That's not how they bypass security, but that's how they got through the door.
Alright. And can the correspondence, can I use correspondence to get into the general security system overall?
Actually, you don't even need to roll for that yet. You can actually just use your level 4 security card and pull up whatever data is available, but you might need correspondence to get anything useful. Depends what you ask. So yes, you find the nearest functional data terminal, swipe the card in, and everything looks normal right up until the incident starts, and then there's nothing. And then it resumes when the incident's over.
Is there anything showing is there any command entered that would cause this to shut down?
Go ahead and roll computer plus intelligence, difficulty 6 to start. Which correspondence do you have?
Just 1.
Okay.
I did a lot better that time with 2 10s, a 7, and a 2.
Right. That'll be helpful because DC's not going to be easy, but that will help reduce that. Okay. Difficulty 4. Roll your enlightenment. You only get 2 rolls, but the difficulty would have been 7.
Eight, 6, and 2 3s.
You find some very suspicious... Go me. You find some very suspicious encrypted data that you have no idea what to do with.
Can I tell when that was entered, if that was entered, or what terminal it might have been, how it was, where did the data enter the system?
Roll awareness plus perception, difficulty 7.
So I'm actually gonna turn to Agent Nerdy. You're a computer expert, hype, right?
Sure am. And it's Nedry, and I don't know if
Nedry.
that's... Yeah. I didn't know if your character was making that joke or if you weren't sure.
I assumed that was a joke.
I assumed it was a joke as well.
My apologies, Agent. So if you take a look at this, I'm going to point out the suspicious code to him.
Oh yeah, here we go. So first I'm going to need Nedry to roll hacking plus intelligence. Once you're done with that, Nedry, you're both going to need... So this is going to be an encounter roll. You're going to need a total of 15 successes between the two of you. You can teamwork this. You can both roll your enlightenment. Take turns, one at a time each. Difficulty starts at 9, drops by 1 for every success Nedry makes on hacking. Minimum of 3.
All right, so hacking would be a computer specialization, correct?
Yeah, you should have 2 points in that. I don't know.
So is that...
No, hacking was a sub-skill we gave you. Remember, when we set your character up? You have 2 dots in it.
Okay, so does that mean I get a total of 7? Because computers have 5?
Correct.
Okay, plus intelligence is 11.
Correct.
And then does my trait... Does my cryptography trait help me at all?
That drops the base DC from 6 to 5 for this roll.
Okay.
Because 6 is standard. So roll DC 5 with 11 dice, subtract your successes from 9, minimum of 3, and then start taking turns rolling.
I only brought out 10 D10s. Come on.
You obviously have never played Mage with Kyler before.
I have never played Mage at all. What am I looking to hit? What am I rolling towards? DC 5.
DC 5
or up.
Yeah, 5 or up.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 successes. None of them are 10. If that matters.
Did you get any ones?
I got one. I got 2 ones.
Did you get any 10s?
3 ones. I got 3 ones and no 10s.
So then subtract. 2. Yeah. 1 subtract from successes unless you get a 10. So
I got 2 successes.
Difficulty 7 for the Arte roll. You need 15 successes total. Starting with Nedry, take turns back and forth, the 2 of you. You can each spend 1 point of willpower if either of you botches.
I'm sorry, what am I rolling for this then?
Enlightenment as a dice pool. So you'll roll your Enlightenment dice once, and then Jacob will, and then you will, until either you botch 3 times or you hit 15 successes.
I do not see Enlightenment on my character sheet.
It's probably called Arete on the sheet, because that's a mage sheet.
Oh.
The reality deviant sheet.
My brother looked into that, but they don't quite line up perfectly, so he'd have to redo all the dots. You have to move them manually.
Oh, no.
We put that on a future project.
Okay. So I rolled 2 5s and a 7.
You got 1. Jacob, 14 to go.
All right.
You're free to spend primal energy or slow cast, anything you can think of that'll make it easier.
Um,
This is correspondence, so I don't think that's... Oh, no.
Oh, I have 3 correspondents.
So your difficulty is 6. It didn't change this roll, but remember that for the next roll.
Okay.
all right. But no out. It's pure enlightened science, and there's no abilities or attributes factored into this.
Computer hacking would have helped. Cryptology would help. Otherwise, no. Simply because that's what you need to bypass this in the mundane world.
Okay.
And just so I'm keeping up, that was my original role, was to make the rest of this easier, and I only made it, and I didn't make it easier, correct?
All right, you don't have to roll
Got you.
computer again, only that one time.
Okay.
I have a 10 and 8, and then
Nice.
4 and a 5.
So, 12 successes left. Back to Nedry. DC is 6. You're rolling your Arete again.
Got no successes.
But no botch?
No botch even.
Okay. Difficulty goes to 7 for you. So now you're both at 7. Go ahead, Jacob.
All right. I've got 2 7s, a 9, and a 5.
Good roll. 9 successes left. Go, Nedry.
I got a 10 and a 7.
7 successes left. Back to Jacob.
I have an 8 and 9, and then an unfortunate 4 and a 3.
Still no 1, so that's 5 successes left. Back to Nedry. You're actually doing really good for the high DC.
2 10s and an 8, so that's true.
Ooh. 2 left for Jacob. Take it home.
You got it?
Boom.
Did you go over? Did you get more than 2, or did you get exactly 2?
I got a 10, an 8, a 7, and a 6.
You did go over by 1. Okay. So base successes would have told you it came from this floor within this area. That extra success tells you which room it was. That is actually the primary office, not the primary, the office of... crap, where'd I put it? Hold on. Gale, there it is. I could not find the first name. I apologize. Gail Nazaro, Dr. Gail Nazaro. Dr. Gail Nazaro is head of R&D for human augmentation.
Was she one of the individuals taken?
It's a he, actually. No.
Is he in the facility at this time?
No. Much like all of the other civilian or the research personnel that were kept hostage, they're all being interrogated. He's already done, but make you answer questions for 3 hours and then go home and take a nap and start over, kind of a deal. They know where he is, but he's not in the building.
I'm going to head down to the guard and ask the guard to make sure eyes stay on Dr. Nazaro until we can get their person.
He types in something on his tablet and swipes it towards you, and it swipes over to your screen, and it's the interior security cam for his apartment, his Arachi provided apartment. Awareness
Lovely.
plus perception, difficulty 6, Jacob.
Awareness.
You have correspondence, right? At least 1 dot?
I do, yes.
Okay.
So I've got a 5 and a 4, which don't matter. I have a 1, which matters, and then I have 2 10s.
2 successes because 10s kill 1s for me. 1 10 kills all 1s. I am removing the 10s explode on magic rolls, but 10s will explode on skill rolls. But to keep things simple, because we're spending a lot of time in other games, they'll just double now. So you actually got 4 successes with 2 10s. On spell rolls, a 10's just a success, but it still kills a 1. So you see that he's got his recliner kicked back, and he's like passed out, snoring away. TV's running, playing some talk show. There's no mind in that. That's not real. That's not actually him. That's not a person. That's a highly sophisticated image.
In the sense that what I'm looking at, what I'm being shown, is not a real image.
What the camera
Or
is
the sense
seeing.
that
The camera is seeing an enlightened science effect, creating a hyper-realistic hologram. The camera isn't showing you the thing. The camera is being fooled by the hyperstech. You're just noticed, like, because you're always reaching out for other minds, there's nothing there.
I would like to look at the security guard and goes, someone get in there and bring him here.
He looks at you, he nods, pushes his earpiece and says something real quiet like, and then like immediately the door is kicked open and 3 people swarm in full tack gear. They were right outside. They rush over to the couch and they try to drag him out of the couch, but their arms go right through him and they fall over each other like a cartoon. They look very confused. Apparently it fools real eyes too until you touch it. They report back and he looks at you and says,
Who was the last person?
"Some kind of advanced hologram, sir."
Who was the last person to speak with Dr. Nazzaro?
He types something on the tablet, and one of the guards takes his helmet off and looks at you and gives you a thumbs up. That guy.
Find out why he was the last person to see Dr. Nazzaro, yet Dr. Nazzaro is not where he left him.
They actually just patch you in to the house guard. This is the guy that was escorting him back and forth from interrogation. This is the guy that goes out and fetches whatever the doctor asks for. The doctor was a physical person when he escorted him into the house, because he was touching his arm as he led him down the hallway. Something happened once he was inside.
I want the footage of what has been happening in that apartment for the past 24 hours sent to me.
They send it to you, and I'm going to shorthand this for you because we don't make Nedry roll 20 more dice, because this is something Nedry would get. You're able to determine through studying the tablet and the footage that he actually jacked into the virtual web like Nedry would do, and then physically entered it, leaving behind a hologram. He entered the virtual net to escape the apartment. He could have exited anywhere in the world.
I'm going to inform the rest of the amalgam that a reality deviant was working inside the facility and entered the code, and that reality deviant has left custody.
Just as importantly, Arachi was unaware there was an enlightened being in working for them at a high level. Remember, they were very aware that there were one other enlightened being and 3 beings about to become enlightened in the same department. They knew about them, but somehow not this person.
I order everything on Dr. Nazzaro. Any files he may have had, any communications that he may have had, anything at all that may be of use, anything that they might not think is of use should also be included in this, all packed up and sent to the construct.
Done. Satori, while all of that is happening, what are you doing?
Satori would be. See, I don't have good skills for an investigation like this. I'd be keeping watch to make sure nothing screwy's going on. I don't know how to put it.
What spheres do you have?
I got life 2, mind 2, and entropy 1, and prime 3. So maybe just keeping watch.
Are you a hypertech user, or do you do everything in your paradigm through masterful control of your body? What's your practice? I don't remember.
My practice was martial arts, but I was interpreting that as applying the hypertech in a way that would appear to be martial arts.
Okay. The reason I was asking is there is something you could do that nobody's done, but it won't be your primary thing, but you can still do it. With life in mind, you can actually attempt to scan the room with your tricorder, whatever you want to describe to us, crazy science device you have.
My eyes. I'll use.
Yeah, you have cybernetic eyes. You can scan the blood pattern, the blood spray pattern. You can check for partial footprints, and you can try to figure out how the hell they got off the floor, because that's something else nobody knows. How'd they get out of the building?
Right, so Satori would take off his shades and start scanning the room with his mechanical eyes.
Perfect. Setting it up. Hold on 1 second. You got a little bit of an advantage because you have blood samples. That's helpful. What's your enlightenment? 3 or 4?
It is 3.
Difficulty is 4. You need 3 successes. Begin rolling.
That's 2 successes.
Roll again. Oh yeah, you have a total of 3 rolls. Keep going. 4 rolls, sorry. Your number of rolls you get is always your enlightenment plus 1.
So on my second roll, I believe I got 1 success.
That's it. You needed 3. So, you're able to determine they took the 4 hostages into the good doctor's office, where they then sat them down in his chair, and then they stopped existing. Which, coordinating with Jacob, you're like, he sent them through the virtual net through his own computer. That's how they got out. The whole thing was done with Matrix style, only in reverse. Also, in addition, Armature, you were scanning the windows.
Yep.
Replaying events, you were able to confirm what Satori saw. You're also able to confirm there were 6 assailants. They actually treated the doctor like he was a hostage, including smacking him around with a gun butt. Like they did not. There would have been no indication without Jacob and Nedry that anything weird was going on with the doctor. Of the 6, you were able to determine 3 of them are augmented, and 1 of them is a reality deviant. Like a true reality deviant, because at one point, when one of the guards they thought was dead turns and tries to fire at him, he just kind of does the Neo thing and says no, and the bullet stops. That is not enlightened science. Bullet hits an invisible barrier and shatters.
This is not good.
Give me a perception plus alertness difficulty 8, Armature. Let's see how good you are at reading lips. Not celerity, stolen fires. He threw his hand up and like a telekinetic barrier appeared and the bullet hit it like it was a metal wall and shattered. Like he was a mage,
alertness.
maybe.
Perception and alertness, you
Difficulty 8, yes.
said? Does my acute senses help with that?
Bring it down to 7. Yes.
Alright, so I should probably figure out how to use this Astral.
True, but you didn't see any fangs. Responding to comments in chat.
I don't know if any of us have actually questioned this, but I'm assuming since the head engineers were here, this was during daylight hours.
No, this was at night, but not like deep vampire night. This was like at 6 p.m. during a changeover of shifts.
So,
Again, audacious
night.
because there was traffic on the street.
So night in December, but day in the summer.
Right, and in my games, it's always fall. So it's getting dark at 6, but not quite. Like, it'll be dark by 7.
So take a thin blood, not a real vampire.
Yeah. Let you get armature.
I can't get the dice spot to roll, so
Oh, okay.
I rolled. I got
Meat
one
space.
success.
One success. So, today's October 11th. Like I said, it's always fall for me, so I might say it's always October, even if a month passes. If I ever give you a specific date, it's for important story bits. Today's October 11th, and the one thing you get is, at one point, one of them actually does stop and glance over at the doctor, and they kind of give each other the real subtle signal. And the doctor mouths, October 12th, 5 p.m. That's at 2 hours. October 13th, 5 p.m. That's at 2 hours. Sorry. And Dasha. I already forgot. What were you doing? I apologize.
Actually, I don't think it really matters because pretty much what I was trying to do was find out how many assailants there were.
Oh, yep. You got that already.
Yeah. So I just, wave my hands and look at the walls and do some mind numbers and then just go, bleh, walk away.
So, whatever it is, it's in 2 hours.
But where?
One of you does a quick check. Because I'm just going to give you this one. What the hell does that matter? And then you realize the thing you keep hearing about, the InGen opening ceremony deal, the launch ceremony, is in 2 hours.
Is that in the building or?
No, that is in the Manticore primary R&D facility in the Carpathian Fangs. Using these since you're talking about vampires. The catch is, you're the Technocracy. You could get there if you wanted to. Because you see the Technocracy has hypertunnels. You get in a little car, and the car runs down a electromagnet. It floats in the air, and it can go like 1,000 miles per hour. It's totally not teleporting you.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. You have correspondence hypertech access from your construct to move to another construct immediately if you wanted to. Would take like 30 minutes to get across the world.
So they took them and they were talking about the unveiling of their project.
No, they were talking. Well, the doctor was telling the assailant the time of the unveiling.
Which means that they're probably going to show up.
Something bad's probably going to happen in 2 hours. Yeah.
All right, so we should probably call HQ and have them alert the other construct. And then we should head that way.
So, here's the fun part. You work for the Technocracy. It's in the name. Takes you 30 minutes to get approval to go. because red tape. That's as fast as anything ever happens around here. You report in. You're debriefed for 15 minutes while you're driving. 30 minutes to get approval to use the hypertunnel. 15 minutes to get in the device, and 30 minutes to get there. So you have 45 minutes by the time you arrive at the other facility. The other facility was alerted, but they're on extreme lockdown because of the event that's happening there and all the important people that are in the building. So they know before you get there, but not an hour and 15 minutes before you get there. They've probably got a 30-minute head start on you by the time you get there. Taking the tunnel, though, is awesome. You don't get to do it much, but you love it. The feeling is amazing. If you're into roller coasters. If you're not, it's the worst fucking thing ever. Because, this is some crazy Technocracy hypertech. Technically, it goes through the planet, right?
So the gravity inverts.
The gravity inverts in the middle twice, going in and out. So I'm sure that sensation is amazing. You arrive at the other facility, though. And you hit the end point, and the capsules stop and pop open. The lids just fly off, and so all 5 of you can climb out. There are 4 technocrat guards there waiting for you. All 4 of them are actual technocrat guards. So they're not necessarily enlightened, but they're using enlightened technology. So they're wearing high-end personal shield devices, and they're carrying plasma rifles. They tell you they've swept the building twice, and they don't find any threatening people here that shouldn't be here, except the second sweep noticed that there was one office that reported all clear, but it's reporting all clear 3 milliseconds too slow. Technocracy, that shit's suspicious.
I think we know where we need to go.
Yeah, what office is this wing located in?
So this building actually has 3 wings. It's kind of like a Tyrannosaurus claw. It's in the northwest wing. And the office itself has high-end clearance to the network, but it's not anybody important. It's like IT staff office. It just has a lot of access to the network. So, I'm IT. I shouldn't say IT isn't important, but I mean, it's not like a lead research scientist. It's IT staff room.
But it's got high-speed access, which is what
it's got full network access to everything in the building, including the data center, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a prime spot for them to pop out.
I'm going to give an order to the T1 agents that are waiting there for us.
Okay.
To disconnect any networks that are not controlled and monitored in wherever the event is happening.
Yeah, see if they can cordon off that wing from the rest of the building.
Already done, sir.
And to shut down all the rooms around the one that is
also already done,
slow.
Sir, and they have it ringed with 15 security personnel and 2 hit Mark 5s.
Excellent work.
Technocracy doesn't mess around when basically the board of directors is in the building. Which you're nowhere near, and they're not going to show their faces to you. You just know they're here. They're on lockdown now. Control is in the building.
Well, let's get a move on.
So, you charge across the building and make your way to the locked-off area. Once you arrive, what do? You come to the cordon, basically, and you do see that there's 7 soldiers on the left, 7 on the right, 1 guy that's coordinating them in the middle, and 2 straight-up T-1000s, basically, carrying miniguns.
Is there a window on the other side of this office?
Same as the facility you came from, but it's all opaqued out. You can't see in. All the windows on the floor are. That's standard procedure for when you're not there. Conserve power.
Is there something that they could go through the window?
The hit marks look at you
they're-
and just nod and the miniguns start winding up. That's not what you meant. You should stop them.
No.
Okay.
Hold.
Do not destroy the building.
There should be agents on the other side of the room in case they try to make an exit. That doesn't exist.
That's a drop off. 11 stories to ice and snow. But there are personnel down there, but they're not agents. They're modified security pets. Let's just call them that. They're part cat, part dog, part metal.
Are they flying chihuahuas?
They don't fly. They might be chihuahua in there, though. That's an aggressive species. They're part canine, part feline, part metal.
I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask also for the rooms next to the room to also have guard station in there.
Yeah, that's part of the cordon, all the way to the outside wall.
All right.
Is there any movement coming from?
Can't see through the glass.
Can we adjust the transparency on the glass?
They tell you they tried, and it's being resisted from inside. Clearly, somebody's in there.
Okay.
I'm gonna do a mind scan to see if there's mines in there.
Just one.
So, okay.
No, make your roll for that. You can pick that up with just one dot in the sphere.
All right. All right. So there's one inside that we can see. If there are using deviant methods of transportation, there's possibility of others popping out.
Yeah.
Can we disconnect the network in this room?
That they weren't able to do. This room still has access to the outside, but nothing in the building. Locked off. They locked off its access to everything in this facility.
Can they? I don't want to say cut the hard line, but can they cut
They
the
did.
hard line out? And this room still has access.
Clearly deviant magic.
Have we tried an EMP?
Yes. Good call, though. These are all great ideas. But again, it doesn't surprise any of you that they said yes to most of this, because it's the Technocracy. And control is here. They tried an EMP. They also tried just having the hit marks walk in and release one of their new experimental localized oxygen-destroying weapons. Didn't change anything.
Wow.
Jammers didn't do anything.
There might be something you're thinking of that they didn't, but so far, no.
Wait, don't we have a person who's got like a curse or something that jams things?
They look
Just
at you.
running there.
They all just look at you like, that's deviant, Satori.
I mean, I'm not.
No, the answer would actually be if they had such an asset, they would use it, but this facility does not.
Can I? Entropy also deals with things breaking.
Yep.
Yes.
You can use your nanobots to break things down. I'd allow it, yeah.
Yeah. So I was going to hook my ES phone up to the control panel next to the door
Okay.
to use entropy to break down functioning electronics inside that room.
And
Again, this is another instance where working with Nedry will help. Well, anybody else who thinks they have something that'll help, throw it at me.
yeah, actually, I'm also going to use entropy to push the odds in his favor.
Okay.
of
So basically,
succeeding.
yeah, you'd run a calculation and say this is the exact moment to start pressing keys, is how that would work for you. And about Armature Satori, you might not have anything that can help, but you can try to sell me if you think you do.
I've got nothing.
What spheres do you have, Key?
My spheres are entropy 1, life and mind 2, and then prime 3. So maybe I could throw prime in there. But
Yeah, it would be entropy, and it's overridden by Dasha because you both have the same paradigm where it's manipulating odds. Can't manipulate odds twice.
So the hit, they've set one of the hit.
The hit marks are standing by. They're not actually doing anything until they're commanded.
You said they sent one of them in, or they sent a weapon of theirs in?
Neither. They're just standing there with miniguns waiting for instructions.
So they haven't tried to actually go into this room yet.
You're in charge of that.
Okay. So while they're messing with the door, Armature's going to be messing with one of the hit units.
Okay.
He wants to upgrade it.
It's a... At the time these were invented, Hitmark 5 is actually an older model. Hitmark 6 is the new model. But at the time these were invented, they were pretty state-of-the-art. At the time, nanometal was a new concept. So yeah, you could try to do something with their nanometal. Meaning it's liquid metal.
So he wants to basically try to supercharge the reflexes on one of these so that the instant they activate what they're doing, it goes in.
Okay.
And he wants to program it to basically he wants to remove the gun so that it can try to capture the reality deviant that's in there rather than kill it.
So roll craft or technology, whatever's better for you, plus intelligence, difficulty 6 armature.
Okay.
And he has a bonus from Tony.
Yes, so that's one automatic success.
What?
Well, if viewer gave you a bonus to that roll specifically, so that's one automatic success. But you're going to want more than one, so you're going to want to roll anyways.
Okay, so intelligence and technology, would creative as a spec count here?
Yes, dropping it DC to 5.
It drops the DC, it doesn't explode the 10s in this version?
That's because I let you explode 10s anyways.
Oh, okay.
So I dropped the DC.
Okay. Okay. So we've got 8, 8, 5, 7.
That's 5 successes. That's a crit success right there because of the automatic one.
Okay.
Unless you got any ones.
I did get 1, 1.
Okay, so 4 is still real good though. You're able to perform the upgrade. Now for Nedry, Jacob, and Dasha. Nedry, give us that 11 dice hacking roll again. Jacob.
DC what?
6. You always assume 6 on a skill roll unless I say otherwise. Sometimes I forget to say it. Jacob, this time you actually might be able to roll something to assist. Roll technology plus intelligence, difficulty 6.
So I rolled. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I rolled a 10 and a 1. Does the 10 still count?
10 kills the 1.
Kills the 1. Does the 10 also?
Yep,
add
becomes 2
at that point.
Correct.
Okay. So that's a 10, a 7, a 7, a 6, a 6, and a 7. So that's a 6.
7 because the 10 doubles. So that's 7.
10.
So I'm rolling intelligence and technology to assist
Is yourself.
Nedry.
No, you're all assisting each other. I'm just letting you do foci rolls this time before we do the spell.
Okay. So that is 6, 5, 7, 7, and a 10.
And same roll for you, Dasha.
What's the difficulty?
6.
And you wanted technology and what else?
Intelligence. Not your key, but you can still do it.
Yep. Not my wheelhouse, but we'll see how it goes. No successes.
Okay. 12 successes. Divided by 2 is 6, removing 6 necessary successes from the spell roll out of 10. You only need 4 roll successes on the spell now, because of your raw skill. So, beginning with Jacob, who's leading this charge, roll your Arete against difficulty 5.
I would
Enlightenment
love
against
to-
difficulty 5.
I would like to use some primal energy.
Yep, up to your
lower the
genius rating.
difficulty on this.
That lowers it for everyone. By the way, since it's a group effort,
So, if I just use 1 point to bring the difficulty, brings the difficulty down to a 4,
yep.
and the lowest it can go down to is a 3.
Yep.
I'll just use 1 for the moment.
Okay. Difficulty 4, you need 4 successes.
Ouch.
Should be no problem getting this in one turn with 3 of you.
I got a 3, a 6, and a 1. I should have gone lower.
Nedry, roll, same thing, difficulty 4.
That's 2.
And Dasha.
Tony had given me a bonus. I will use it if I...
You can
Oh,
use
yeah.
those on spells. That's 3. You need 1 more.
Here you go. There's 1.
Good use of the roll. All right.
Thank you, Tony.
The pad shorts out. The glass becomes transparent again, and the doors pop open as the magnetic seal is released. And what you see is the doctor. The one that you discovered was the insider. With headgear on, jacked directly into an IT terminal in the room. And his eyes are bugged all the way out, and he's like visibly shaking, and sweat is pouring off of him. And there's like a trickle of blood coming out of his left ear. He looks at you with panic in his eyes, almost like he's gonna say, "Oh God, help!" But then, like, all the light goes out of his eyes, and they just go down to a little dilate to a pinprick, and all the white part turns red. Just smiles at you and turns back to the console. Go ahead and give me an awareness plus perception, starting with Satori. Difficulty 6.
Awareness or alertness?
Awareness. And we're going to start with Satori on this one. Just
Oh,
because he hasn't
dear.
done anything in a while.
I've been keeping watch. It's fine. That's awareness and perception? Lucky me. Oh no. Difficulty 6.
Yep.
That's 1 success.
Possession. Something's
Oh.
possessing this person. So Satori yells out, he's possessed. The Terminator's on its way in and the gun's firing up. Do you stop at Armature?
I took the gun off.
Okay. He's still walking in there, though, unless you're going to stop him. Like, he's
No,
halfway into the room because you
No.
enhanced his reflexes.
Yep, it's supposed to go in there and grab him.
Okay.
That's what I want it. It's exactly what I want it to do.
It heads into the room, and it's moving fast. But the thing, or whatever it is that's inside the doctor, spins around. And just as fast, like lightning, draws a very large, heavy pistol and puts it to its own head and says,
My time has come. Here we go. Disarming time. Oh.
Well, I will let Agent Satori go ahead unless they don't have an immediate ability to take him out.
You actually going to try, Satori?
Feel like it'd be tempting the fates here.
You did precast that spell for one good hit. You could punch the gun.
Shatter.
I think a bit more specifically, I'd like to use one of my fancy martial arts maneuvers.
Which one?
Withering grasp to go in and get the doctor in a painful hold as quickly as possible and disarming him in the process.
Okay.
So normally, it would be a dexterity plus martial arts roll at a difficulty of 7. Would that be changed in any way
Yep.
due to
Roll
the
your
circumstances?
Arete against difficulty 4. Your Enlightenment against difficulty 4. You prep to kill strike. It still gets to apply.
That's 3 successes.
That's a complete success. So yes, like you move like lightning and you hit the gun. Only like you do the movie thing where you grab it and your hand just kind of moves and it falls into all its component parts and they hit the ground and you're holding the bullet that was chambered.
Just turn and glare at the doctor.
You're holding the arm too because that was your intent. The thing says, "It's a few minutes early, but that's okay." And then it blinks and you see all the data on the panel behind it change. And as you're watching the data scroll down the screen, Nedry, it's beginning to become clear what's happening. And it sees the smile. It sees the light in your eyes go off, and it smiles at you as you figure out what's happening. And it turns to all of you and says, "There are so many of me. So many of me everywhere. Even in your own organization. I'm at the top of everything." And then Nedry, that's when you realize he just sent a signal to the new satellite system that is doing something to those new chips everyone just got implanted in their cybernetics, including you.
Oh.
The signal goes off, and all of you that are enhanced immediately lose control of your characters and begin hitting the nearest thing made out of flesh. Violent
They're
berserk
punching the
rage.
doctor. Here we go.
Oh,
You can spend a
that's-
point of willpower to avoid it each turn.
Oh.
Hmm.
Oh.
Okay. This isn't
I,
good.
I,
Oh,
since,
Jacob froze a little bit. I can still hear you.
oh, 'cause
You're making a great face right now, though.
If I were to remove the chip somehow, would that
Oh, there he goes.
stop our condition here? If I were to remove my chip,
You
would
can't.
it stop my condition? I can't. Is that a challenge, or is that
That
definitive,
is
I cannot?
that is slight loss of agency due to story events. You can fight the conditioning, but you can't reach for the chip. Also, what were you going to try to say, Jacob, when you got cut off?
I did. I'm not sure if I remember to mention this. The stun gun. I know we talked about it. I want to shoot the doctor with it and activate a Mind 4 procedure to knock him out.
I assume you're going to try to blow a point of willpower to resist the augmentation control.
I don't have a chip.
Uh,
I don't have an enhancement.
Oh, right. You're the one who doesn't. I thought it was somebody else. Hold on. I'm repositioning cameras real quick. Okay. So, Satori, you're going to resist it, or you're going to beat the doctor to death? It's your call as the player. Because he is the nearest thing to you.
I would make the argument that I am the nearest thing to me, but
Can't hit
I
yourself.
would like to not beat myself
Yes.
to death. So, doctor feels useful. I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna have to spend the point for now, at least, until I can get surrounded with people I'd actually want to hit.
Nedry, you're still at the door. The nearest thing to you is Jacob.
I'm going to spend a point.
Okay. Armature, you're actually back behind the rest of them. The nearest thing to you is a random security guard. Only you have a bigger problem. You're going to have to spend 2 willpower because you have so much machinery.
And I will spend 2 willpower.
Okay, and Dasha. Nearest thing to you is also Jacob.
I will spend the willpower.
Okay, you all burn the willpower. So that means you're all able to see every single one of the guards immediately go mad, start attacking each other and the hit marks. Which you're like, okay, you're hitting me, whatever. Still waiting for commands. But then they start shooting each other. Obviously, it'll take a couple turns for them to turn the guns on you. Jacob, take your first action.
Yeah. So roll the ability first and then do the Enlightened Science roll?
Yeah.
Okay. And that would be firearms and dexterity for shooting it?
Yeah, and you might not need the Enlightened Science if you knock them out. And it depends how good the roll is.
Stun gun go! Stun gun got 1 success.
Yep, definitely roll that first Enlightenment roll. Difficulty 5.
Alright. Well, that works out a little bit better. That's a 3, a 7, an 8, and a 10.
So 4 successes, because you're enhancing the shock with your mind effect to scramble the brain further, does work. And the doctor jerks and reacts. His body goes limp, but the eyes are still looking at you. And in your mind, you can hear whatever's in there talking to you directly. So many of us, we know what happened to you. And then it's gone, and it's just the doctor again, completely unconscious because you tased him, bro. Which means now, that's... You can try. What else do you want to try to do?
I just... Can I see what's going on with the... behind... with the hit marks and the guards?
The guards have succeeded in killing each other, all but one who's now aiming at you guys.
Disable
Plasma
him.
rifles are deadly.
As a command to the hit mark, I'm going to try to say disable him.
Mark looks over at him, wham, on top of the head, and he just falls down. Apparently whatever's happening doesn't affect a hit mark because it's not the same kind of cyborg. I don't know. You don't know. Satori, that code's still running. You spent a point of willpower. You could take an action. Doctor doesn't need you to hold his arm anymore.
Oh.
Although the
That's
doctor's
still running.
augmented, so one of you should probably zip tie him.
Yeah, that would be... Yeah, I'm zip tying him.
Dasha.
Well, if Satori's going to zip tie him...
If I could offer a suggestion, it might be wise to zip tie Satori when I'm done.
You can zip tie each
When
other,
I go
yes.
off.
Let Jacob zip tie the last of you.
No, because then the security guards will just come over and shoot us.
They're all
Or we're
dead
zip
except for
tied.
the one that's knocked out.
Oh, they're all dead? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we kill the guard first, because, you know.
The guard ain't waking up anytime soon. He got hit in the top of the head by a piece of metal.
I suppose I will
But
tie up
the
Satori.
code's still running.
Oh, the code's still running? Shit.
This is a movie moment. You can just, like, destroy the panel. It'll work. I'll allow
Ah!
it. No, you've got machine pistol. Blow the shit out of it, or zip tie a player.
Oh. Oh, let's blow something up.
Please don't blow it up.
Dasha goes full auto with his machine pistol on the
Oh,
control
the
panel,
control panel.
which does short it out. However, what happens at the end of the code dropping off is every one of you that's enhanced, your augmentations short out, sending massive charges of electricity through your bodies, causing who knows what damage as all 4 of you collapse. Jacob,
Okay.
you look around, you look at the dead guards, you look at the unconscious doctor, and you remember that those satellites blanketed the entire planet. What just happened here just happened everywhere.
I'm smart.
And that's where we pause until next week. Oh no, I don't mean you. I mean 90 million augmented people, 500 million augmented people, a billion worldwide just went on a murderous rampage.
Oh.
For 5 minutes.
Oh.
You're going to wake up in a whole new world next week.
I thought you meant that I knocked them all out.
Oh, you probably did. You probably sent the search through the whole world and stopped it.
Yes. Sort of. Yay.
Well, I would say good job, agents, but I don't know. Was that a good job? I guess that's up to you.
This is going to be a lot of paperwork.
We're still alive.
You are still alive, so yes, you are able to report in, be debriefed, and make triplicate copies of all of your mission reports, which will keep you busy until next week. We thank you for joining us for Chapter 1 of our story, audience. And now I'm going to hand it back over to the crew again to tell you once again who they are and where you can find them next on our show and anywhere else on the internet.
Oh, I'm first again. Yes. So, yes, I am Dwayne, at Made of Kimchi on the internet. Tonight I was playing Satlina. The next time that you will see me will be Tuesday for Trinity Continuum Adventure.
And I am now Kisama again. I was Satori. It was fun. You can find me on Thursdays, playing in a Thursday's Chilling Tales as Dr. Knackle.
Hey everyone, I'm JT. You can find me around the internet as at Sensomancer. Tonight I was playing John Nedry. That's a Jon because my real name is John with an H, Thomas.tech, which is where you can go and hire me because I'm looking for work right now. JohnThomas.tech, check me out. IT, cybersecurity, software development, looking for work.
I am Zachary Naldret, he, him. You can find me on the interwebs at Zach Rules on Twitter and various other sites. I'm sure I have that on several of them. Doing a little promotion for Storyteller's Vault halfway to Halloween. If you go to my Twitter, you will see it on the pinned post. Next time you'll see me will be Tuesday. I am playing D&D for the first time ever, playing 5e. We're doing a session 0 over at Vancouver by Night's channel at 5 p.m. Pacific.
And I am the Touring, _Touring on Twitter and elsewhere online. And I will be back next Saturday. No, not next Saturday. I'm off next Saturday. But I run a podcast when I have time called Lore of the Apocalypse, and I explore the lore of Werewolf the Apocalypse geared towards new players or people who are coming back, gearing up for W5 whenever that drops.
Excellent. And I am Eldritch Echoes Online. You'll find me tomorrow playing Mage of the Ascension with Tradition Mages, only that one's a dark and creepy horror game. 9 p.m. Come check it out. If you like this, you'll like that. Also, check out our website, vorpaltales.com. You can find our full calendar for all Onyx and non-Onyx Path games. You can find our links to our YouTube there where you can catch old episodes. Check out Victorian Mage, like we hinted. Links to our Patreon and all kinds of cool recaps, archives, and other fun things. Links to our podcast, too, where we do deep dives on the material we use for our stories and our book supplements we create. We would like to also thank, once again, Onyx Path Publishing and White Wolf for gifting us the World of Darkness and all the support they offer their players to Astral Tabletop so we can roll virtual dice. But now, we're going to have to leave you to your normal mundane life of internet, streaming, and Big Macs. But at least you'll be keeping it mutual. That's the way forward into enlightenment, right? Right. Good night.
Bye, have a wonderful night.
Wait, no. I lied, and Dwayne didn't stop me. We're not leaving yet.
Oh, because we're ready.
We didn't do votes.
Oh, we didn't do votes.
Oh, we're going to vote?
It's not in my script.
Oh, my God.
What's wrong with my script? It's your fault,
Come
Dwayne.
back.
Bum, bum, bum.
Wow, glad I caught that. First, we must do votes for the Ride or Die viewers. Every player gets to vote for each other for any reason. Player vote lets you recharge 1 point of quintessence without needing a node. A player vote also lets you take a bonus XP if you want it. Audience can also vote for any of you. Audience votes are free willpower spend, free automatic success without checking it off the box. So, in the normal order, begin who and why.
I do believe tonight I will have to be voting for Jakob for leading the party, taking the lead.
And being unaugmented.
Yes, and yeah, the only unaugmented one.
My vote would need to go to Dwayne, mostly because the first instinct with the code was to destroy the computer. 'Cause that always works out well.
It does.
Yeah, clear. Yeah,
I ran
stop
the numbers.
the rampage. You ran the numbers. Yeah. It's the best possible course of action.
Rampage!
I'm going to vote for Zach as well for leading the party.
I'm gonna have to give my vote for Agent Nedry, because that hacking really made everything possible.
Thank you.
And I will do the same because I had the same thought that Nedry's background and helping everybody else kind of let us all advance, or I guess get to our goal quicker.
Maybe one day I'll be trusted within the Technocracy. Even.
Maybe.
One day. Probably not.
Keep being mutual, it might happen.
Awesome being awesome to each other. You get your normal 3 XP for tonight, plus 1 XP each because you all had really good ideas. Whether they were useful or not, they were good ideas. So that's 4 for all of you. And now we'll wish you a good night, audience. So until next week, good night.
Bye, have a wonderful night.